Hello, I'm bored. I'm very bored. Or, as my sister likes to say, I am boring. So I hope you guys are enjoying your stay in Pandemicville. I feel like I have literally nothing to do. And it's kind of weird because I was just actually working like a couple of weeks ago, and then last week I had to go to Dallas for a wedding. So I actually have been doing stuff, like more things than I actually planned to do, but even though it's been like a week since the wedding or less than a week since the wedding, I already feel like I have literally nothing to do and have been sitting in the house doing nothing for like months. So ironically, I was actually doing a job, and I kind of mentioned it in another video, but I was working on like a PSA for NBC, and that is pretty much all I can tell you about it because they made us sign many papers saying that we would not talk about it or post anything about it and all of that. So I was actually working about a week and a half ago as a camera assistant. For those of you who don't know, I am a camera assistant and an actress. I am an actress and a camera assistant. Those are like my two main jobs. I do other things because I can't focus on one thing. I actually have the ability to hyper focus sometimes, but then I don't know. I want to do multiple things. So right now I feel like it's safer to do camera assisting stuff because I can keep my mask on while I'm at work, and acting you've got to take the mask off. So yeah, for right now I'm looking more into camera assisting things. After that, I had to go to a wedding. Or I don't want to say had to, but made the decision to after 6 months of going back and forth about whether we would go or not. But it was an outdoor wedding and it was for my cousin, so we decided that we would go. In fact, you will see a video from me in the future about the past, where I talk more about the wedding and where I have wedding outfit ideas. So I do have a video on that coming up. But yes, I went to the wedding and it was outside. Everything really was outside. Even the indoor eating was still outside because the building had no walls, and they had fans blowing and stuff. So I think everything was okay. We were very cautious. We wore our masks. I wiped everything down with alcohol every 5 seconds. So yeah, that's a story for another time. So it's been less than a week since I came back from that, and I feel like I haven't done anything in a year, which is very strange. I don't know. That's how I feel. So yes. The only thing I've been doing recently, other than the things that I was doing, pretty much just lighting and watching TV. So I don't really have any shows right now. I am watching Record of Youth. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out. It is on Netflix. Record of Youth it's good. It's very good, but I've run out of episodes because they only release it once every week. So yeah, I've run out of episodes. So the only other thing I'm watching is the Great British Baking Show. Okay. It's not so I can bake. It's just so I can look at food. I'm just watching it so that I can look at other people bake and then not do anything. I don't know, eat a muffin or something that happens to be laying around. That's pretty much what I've been doing. So other than that, I did see the Blackpink documentary pop up on my Netflix streaming service. So I wasn't really going to watch it. Something about it just drew me to it. I don't know why, but I usually don't watch the documentaries about bands. They tend to be kind of all over the place. Not specifically about any particular band, but I've just noticed that they kind of go all over the place. Or even with this one a little bit, kind of explaining what K-pop is, which is great for new fans. I have watched K-pop since 2010 or 2011, so I don't really need to know how K-pop started. Yeah. That's why, I'm skeptical about watching those videos usually. But in this case, I went ahead and I watched Blackpink's new documentary, which is out on Netflix. One of the main reasons that I really liked this documentary on Blackpink is the fact that it's just like way more calm than some of the other like videos and documentaries that are out there. I understand that like a lot of them are trying to just get you like pumped up and be like totally in it for the band, which is great, but I usually like don't get that much information from them. I feel like it's a lot of like cutting from like performance to performance and not as much about like the actual members. And that was something that I really liked about this. It kind of has a really good balance. Like they definitely show you performances, obviously, but they cut between live performances and kind of the, what are those things called? The like variety show things that they do, like competition shows that they do. So it cuts between those and then also music video behind the scenes, travel, and I really just like the way that it's formatted, and it's got just like a really smooth, concise like feel to it. Also, they do individual interviews with each of the members. First they do like the kind of band as a whole, and then they actually delve into each member, which I really liked. Sometimes they have kind of like people talking about the members, or you just kind of get like a very vague sense about them, but in this documentary they actually have each of them talk very specifically about how they decided to join K-pop or like audition for a K-pop band or something like that. A little bit about how they grew up and all of those types of things. So I really just liked hearing about each member, and you kind of really got a feel for their personality. And so this documentary was just way more personal, and it's also not too long. It's like I think an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but I think it's closer to an hour and a half. So something also that I feel like I don't really see as often, especially in these types of documentaries, are a kind of more realistic feel. A lot of things on K-pop tend to lean to more positive or to more negative, like one or the other, and they really don't try and like do both sides. So I've seen a lot of documentaries that are like, this is the K-pop world, and then they delve into all like the fact that they work tons of hours and they work really hard and it's so competitive, and they just go like completely into the negative. Even if they show a little bit of a band, they also like go and talk about like the behind the scenes and how the people are fighting and all of that. Or they do the more positive and they're like, everything's great, they're the best band, and then they just like don't talk about anything else. So something I really liked is that they kind of are very realistic in this documentary and more sensible about how things would be for like the average, like the average, I'm talking about Blackpink, but the average band that has to like deal with certain things. It was interesting because they talk about how they kind of came up, and also that it's not the same for all of the members. So obviously the members that got there earlier had to see way more people get eliminated as they were training, and people who never got to debut. And then the people who came along later in the band didn't have to see quite as many go, and they got to stay with their band members a little longer. So it was very different depending on like which member was talking. And I also liked that it was definitely more from their point of view. It wasn't many third-party interviews. It was specifically like what each of the band members was sort of feeling. Now obviously they do have to filter a little bit. They can't like tell all of their personal lives and like all of their roommates, because like they're all roommates, but all of their roommates' personal lives. And they talk about the fact that yes, it's very hard and very competitive, but they also are very much enjoying it, and the fact that like they don't really know how long they'll get to like do it, so they're just happy to be able to do it for while they can. And I felt like that was a very, very like good thing for audience members to see, sort of the more like sure opinion of like how they're doing this, because it is a job, but they also really, really enjoy doing it. So I just really like that. One of the members, she likes to write music and like play guitar and stuff. They really took the time to kind of like parse out each member, which was great. I really like the smaller bands. It's just so much easier to see, you know, the personality of each member. And that was something that I really liked about A1 and also Miss A. Miss A was quite a while ago, but I really liked the way that their band was set up just because it was only 4 members. And I feel like Blackpink especially is pretty reminiscent of A1 because they have like the dancer, the rapper, and they all have very different personalities. And that was what I really liked seeing. And it's so funny because I really, really like Lisa, I really do. And I kind of wish I was more like Elisa. It would be great to be more like Elisa, but I'm pretty sure I'm definitely way more like Jisoo. Yeah, so it was funny seeing her like talk and just like go through everything because I could really relate to it. I really liked her interview. I felt like she's very like private, but she was like, okay, I'll talk a little bit, you know. So I felt like that was really nice to hear, just like from each of the members. I mean, I'm definitely an introvert. I have days where I can like be extroverted, but I'm definitely more of an introvert. So I would say I love like watching all the different members and like what they're into, but I would say I'm probably personality wise definitely more like Jisoo. If you guys are looking for something to watch, I would definitely say check out the Blackpink documentary that is on Netflix because it is definitely worth it to watch. And join me next time for another kind of like random video. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye! This is my 2 camera setup. We're gonna see how this works. I had to delete everything off my phone. Not everything. I had to delete a lot off my phone so that I had the space to do this double recording. Way too many photos. So I had to do some deleting.